Hello friends, welcome to Galactic Review. I was taking a look at my Galactic Space bank account today and my funds are running a little low, so I decided to travel back to the PlayStation sector to compete in a race I heard about called Jet Moto in hopes of winning the prize money. Jet Moto was developed by SingleTrack, who developed myriad great games on the PlayStation 1, and it was released in 1996. This is a futuristic racing game that features 20 unique competitors who pilot their hoverbikes around 10 challenging courses. Each of the riders are evenly distributed among 4 sponsored teams: Butterfinger, Axiom, K2, and Mountain Dew. I find it interesting that Mountain Dew's team is comprised entirely of what one might consider to be hot babes, the hottest of which is clearly Miko.
Waifu?
They also have a rider named Wild Ride, who is one of the best riders in the game, if not the best. There is an all-male team as well, Axiom, who, statistically speaking, are the second best team in the game overall, next to K2. The instruction manual says that this game is a true physics design, and the game is definitely attempting to do a lot of impressive physics for the time. This is the really engaging aspect of the racing, because you have to have excellent control of your bike as you race over a variety of different terrain. And the game gives the player a lot of control over the hoverbike, allowing you to lean forward, backward, left, and right. Knowing how to angle the hoverbike for maximum speed is crucial. For example, when going over the ocean waves, you don't want to just plow straight into them because this will detrimentally affect your momentum. Instead, you can lean back a bit when going over an oncoming wave to gain some extra air and speed. Then lean forward a bit when landing on the backside of the next wave, riding in rhythm with the waves and maintaining higher speed overall. Each of the hoverbikes are rated in 4 different categories: handling, acceleration, mass, and lift. Some of the bikes and riders seem to be strictly better than others, having higher combined statistics. However, player skill is just as important, or perhaps more important, than having high statistics. Each of the bikes also get 4 turbos to use during each lap of the race. As you race on the tracks more and more, you'll start to learn where the best spots are for using your turbos. The tracks also have magnetic grapple posts placed around some of the bends and corners. You can press circle to electromagnetically link your hoverbike with these posts, allowing you to quickly navigate tight curves. The magnetic link drains power when being used and recharges while not in use, and there is a gauge on the HUD to monitor this. You'll have to familiarize yourself with the courses and learn which turns have these magnetic grapple posts. The grapple effect itself will take some getting used to, but it's one of the most important skills to learn in the game. When used effectively, this will help you maintain a higher speed while turning, which is obviously advantageous. These tracks are designed to be very challenging, especially the more advanced tracks. The courses contain different terrain that you'll be racing across, such as water, sand, roads, ice, and dirt, and your hoverbike will handle differently over each of these surfaces. Some sections of these tracks are very challenging, filled with various obstacles or presenting a complex series of turns to navigate. It can be overwhelming and very unforgiving if you're not familiar with the track. Another aspect of the track design that can be frustrating is the areas where you have to be careful about getting too much altitude. On certain ramps or hills, if you're going too fast, you'll launch yourself right into a dubiously placed checkpoint sign or some other such obstacle. Either that, or you'll send yourself flying over the track barrier and straight off the track. It's a definite beginner's trap, and that's why you really have to learn the tracks before you stand much of a chance of winning a full season. Some of the tracks have cool shortcuts that you can use to get an edge on the other racers. These are definitely a positive aspect of the level design, as you will need all the advantage you can get to win these difficult races. The majority of the tracks are set among one of 3 locations: an island area, a swamp area, and a frozen tundra area. The one exception is the final bonus track, which is a metal sky course. The island location is well lit and bright, and I like the areas with broken sections of road. The tracks are fairly wide and it's usually easy to tell when a magnetic grapple post is coming up. Plus they aren't cluttered with rotting trees and you can't fall off the track. I like these tracks the best. The swamp areas are cluttered with rotting trees that I wreck into all the time. Some of the sections in these tracks get very narrow, which results in a lot of collisions with the other riders in close races. Everything here is muddy and brown looking, but the reflections on the water are a nice aesthetic touch. These are probably my least favorite levels overall though. The frozen tundra area contains some of the most challenging tracks in the game. This area has some of the most extreme hills and dips in the tracks and will require excellent control of your hover bike. Adding to the difficulty here is the fact that you can fall off the edge of the tracks into a deadly chasm. These icy tracks give me tormenting flashbacks of a cold ice-themed level from another single-track game. Something else that's interesting to note is that some of the tracks loop over upon themselves. This creates a situation where you could have a head-on collision with another rider who is significantly ahead of or behind you. The tracks are broken down into 3 categories: easy, intermediate, and hard. At the start of the game, the easiest tracks are available to race. In order to unlock the next tier of tracks, you'll need to get first place in a full season on intermediate difficulty. Full season is essentially the main game mode, which has you race through each currently available track. It works on a point system, so you don't necessarily have to come in first on every race to place first in the season overall. Once you've unlocked all 9 of the main tracks in this way, you can unlock a bonus track by getting first place in a full season again, but on professional difficulty this time. After you've unlocked the bonus track, you can go through full season yet again on professional difficulty and place first to unlock stunt race. With the stunt race option, you can gain bonus speed and turbos by performing stunts during a race. I wasn't quite able to unlock this mode though because this game is damn hard. The other single player modes are single race and practice, which allow you to race or practice a single track respectively, and custom circuit, which allows you to curate your own selection of tracks to race in a series. Custom circuit lets you choose one of 3 different scoring methods. The championship option works like the point scoring method in full season mode. The rally option determines a winner based on their combined time on each track. Elimination sees the worst performing riders in each race be eliminated, until only a few riders remain for the final race, where first place wins the circuit. As you would expect, there is also a 2-player head-to-head mode, where you and a friend can compete in split-screen races. You can choose the same game modes that you find in single player: single race, custom circuit, full season, or practice. Something I find interesting about this game is that in the options, it lets you choose if you want your trophy presenter to be male or female. Typically in a big racing event like this, an attractive female presents the winner with the trophy. But what if you're a woman? Maybe you'd like to have an attractive man present you with the trophy. Or maybe you're a gay man and you'd also like a male presenter. The game gives the player this option.
Oh my god, that's so gay, but it's so good.
Actually, if you leave this option on the rider's choice, you'll find that some of the riders choose a trophy presenter of the same gender by default. I believe this is intended to insinuate that some of the riders may be gay. And I think it's interesting to point out things like this in old school retro games, because there are a lot of people out there who might think that this is the kind of thing that you'd only see in a more recent game, as opposed to games that are decades old. I should also mention the music in this game, which suits it pretty well. It's got some fast-paced rock songs and some fun surf guitar worked into some of the songs. Some of the songs found in this game are also found in the Twisted Metal 2 soundtrack, which isn't very surprising considering that SingleTrack developed both of these games and they were both released around the same time frame. It's a solid soundtrack overall. Based on the concept of racing futuristic hover bikes alone, Jet Moto is a fun game inherently. It's held up by an ambitious physics system that aimed to give the player a significant level of control, and it largely succeeds in this. In the early days of 3D console gaming, you didn't see a lot of games that were trying to provide this level of control, and even fewer were able to pull it off as well as Jet Moto did. However, while this game can provide plenty of fun, it can also provide plenty of frustration. This game is not only extremely challenging, but it's also very unforgiving, requiring not only intimate knowledge of each track, but also masterfully precise control of your hover bike at virtually all times. It's easy to get first place on the lowest difficulty setting, but beyond that it gets a lot more challenging and it's extraordinarily difficult to unlock everything in the game. Fortunately, there are cheat codes which I happily use to unlock the 10th bonus track, which is called Nightmare. As the name suggests, this is pretty much the most challenging track in the game. It looks pretty cool though, racing across a metal track suspended high in the sky. Of course, this presents plenty of opportunities to fall to your doom. Still, this is a cool track that I'm glad I found a way to access, and it brings the total track count for the game up to a nice even 10. Jet Moto definitely provides a fun and exciting racing experience along with a significant level of challenge. I respect and admire the physics system that's been implemented into this game and the skill it requires to gain mastery over it and the hoverbike. And even though I wasn't quite able to become a master hoverbike rider, I still had fun playing Jet Moto, and I bet you will too. Unfortunately, I didn't win that prize money I was after. It seems you're disqualified from the competition if you use cheat codes. Oh well, at least I was able to strategically relocate some hoverbikes to my shuttle bay, and after a fresh new paint job, they're ready to be sold off for some easy credits. And maybe I'll keep one around for fun. That's all for this Galactic review. Thanks for joining me, everyone. If you liked the video, please go ahead and let me know down below. And if you want to continue to explore the galaxy of media with me, please go ahead and subscribe. Until next time, Captain Shinobi signing out.